He's not. He's a horrible human being.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them. Probably will be.
In the recent presidential election, Trump shocked many by defeating Harris, making his return to the White House. But his victory might not just be about a change of leadership. It could open the door to some long-buried truths. He's made a public promise to uncover the shocking details behind Epstein's private island and ensure that those involved face justice. The case of billionaire Epstein's death has been in the spotlight from last year to this year, and the attention keeps growing. His private island was more than just a playground for the rich. It's tied to a tangled web of connections involving top business figures, influential politicians, and even 2 U.S. presidents and members of the British royal family. The scope of these connections is far greater than most people ever imagined. In August 2019, Epstein was found dead in his jail cell under mysterious circumstances, further adding to the intrigue. Do you think Trump will fully uncover the secrets of Epstein, or will some truths remain buried forever? Unveiling those dark secrets requires your power. I can't wait to see your thoughts in the comments. Welcome to True Crime Story for your channel. Uncovering those darkest secrets needs your power. Click subscribe right now. Before Epstein's secrets were exposed, he was a regular in America's social scene, surrounded by politicians, business moguls, and celebrities. Known as the real-life Gatsby, he was a business genius with mysterious and extravagant wealth. His mansions were scattered across the globe, from a $20 million Palm Beach villa to a luxury apartment in Paris, a private island, and a top-tier townhouse in New York, each one a symbol of his massive fortune. His private jet, a Boeing 727, was the ultimate in luxury. On the surface, Epstein's wealth seemed to come from his hard work, but the truth was far more complex. What's truly puzzling is that even those closest to him couldn't figure out where his money came from. He never ran an open company, and his business dealings were shrouded in secrecy. Epstein's wealth remains a mystery to this day. Epstein's story, was it a tale of business success or a carefully crafted scam? His death only added to the confusion. Born in a typical Jewish family in New York, Epstein quickly rose to prominence in the world of wealth and power. Whether on Wall Street or in high society, he managed to fit in seamlessly, but his success was always surrounded by mystery. Epstein was an exceptional student who even skipped grades in school. After dropping out of college, he became a math teacher at the prestigious Dalton School in Manhattan, and to this day, no one knows how he landed that job. His background is still unclear. In 1976, Epstein joined Bear Stearns and became a partner within 4 years. But due to issues with his credentials and increasingly odd behavior, he was eventually let go. This setback didn't stop him. Instead, it pushed him to start his own financial management firm, Epstein & Company, catering to high-net-worth clients, with assets typically exceeding $1 billion. Despite being involved in some questionable financial dealings, Epstein seemed unaffected by the scrutiny. In 1988, Epstein founded Epstein Investment Company and quickly built relationships with Wall Street's elite. His social circle expanded to include powerful figures in politics, business, and fashion: Trump, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Bill Gates among them. As Epstein's crimes slowly came to light, more and more people began questioning whether these influential figures were somehow connected to his web of influence. In the end, it wasn't the government or law enforcement that uncovered Epstein's secrets, it was a determined female journalist, Vicky Ward. In 2003, Vicky was originally planning to write a success story about billionaire Epstein for Vanity Fair. Her initial idea was to craft an article highlighting Epstein's business success and social standing, showing how he had gone from an ordinary man to the top, accumulating endless mansions and private jets. But while working on the piece, an unexpected phone call changed everything. On the other end of the line was a voice filled with pain and anger, a victim who revealed the shocking truth about Epstein. The Gatsby everyone admired was hiding a terrible secret. The victim shared her personal story with Vicky, explaining how Epstein carefully set his trap, starting with people around him. Epstein didn't directly look for victims. Instead, through his personal secretary and acquaintances, he'd inquire about young girls in difficult situations. Initially, he offered them high-paying massage jobs as a lure. But things were far darker than they seemed. What followed was truly horrifying. Many of these girls came from poor backgrounds or had strained family relationships. Most were under 18, young and vulnerable, easily swayed by the promise of money and opportunity. Epstein preyed on these weaknesses, drawing them into his world. Even worse, Epstein didn't just satisfy his own desires, he actively encouraged these girls to recruit others. He promised them rewards for every new girl they brought into his circle. Over time, Epstein turned this abusive behavior into a sort of pyramid scheme. The girls, once victims, became partners, recruiting new participants for Epstein. Behind his luxurious mansions and extravagant lifestyle, a dark and twisted network grew. Besides Epstein, several of his close associates, his personal secretary Sarah Killen, models, and ex-girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell also played crucial roles in maintaining this criminal operation. With their help, this network continued to expand until it was finally exposed. Vicky Ward's investigation, uncovering Epstein's secrets. Ghislaine Maxwell, from socialite to key player in the scheme. Things took a deeper turn when Ghislaine Maxwell entered the picture. Born into a powerful family, she had the education and social skills to blend into high society in the U.S. Despite her family's downfall after her father's mysterious death in 1991, Ghislaine remained a prominent figure in social circles. Her fate shifted dramatically after meeting Epstein. Their relationship quickly grew from romance to close collaboration. Ghislaine wasn't just Epstein's lover. She became his trusted partner and right-hand woman, personally recruiting young girls and helping him expand his network. Over time, Ghislaine's role evolved from being a socialite to becoming the driving force behind Epstein's dark empire. She didn't just bring in new girls, she took charge of their training and used her own connections to lure more into the trap. As her relationship with Epstein deepened, Ghislaine became indispensable to the operation, ultimately becoming a key figure in the scheme she helped build. Epstein's private island, a hidden world. It wasn't until Epstein's dark secrets were exposed that the world learned of his private island, hidden in a remote part of the ocean. Surrounded by water on all sides, the island was virtually unknown to the public. Its security was so tight that anyone trying to approach would be swiftly turned away, creating an isolated world apart from the outside. Epstein's clients typically arrived via his specially modified Boeing 727. The plane's interior was designed with private bedrooms and lounge areas, clearly set up for the special services provided to his guests. The plane was even nicknamed the Sky Resort, serving as a secret space for Epstein to entertain his top-tier clients. Once on the island, visitors had two choices. They could relax in the luxurious main villa or retreat to a secluded cabin for total isolation. Each cabin was equipped with top-tier luxury facilities, comparable to a five-star hotel suite. The island was surrounded by 24/7 surveillance equipment, continuously monitoring the activities of everyone. Epstein had access to all the data backups, making it clear that he intentionally kept his guests under watch, reminding them that once they entered his world, there was no turning back. As Epstein's crimes were slowly revealed, more and more people began to question the powerful figures, business leaders and politicians who had been in close contact with him. These figures, with their own secrets, were part of the reason Epstein was able to remain above the law, evading accountability. Epstein's Lolita Express and the elite guests. Around the turn of the millennium, Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express, became a go-to for many powerful figures and celebrities, including Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and Kevin Spacey. In September 2002, Clinton flew with Epstein from New York to Africa. During the flight, Clinton complained about neck stiffness, so when they stopped for fuel at a remote Portuguese airport, Epstein arranged for 22-year-old massage therapist, Davis, to give him a massage. Davis later clarified that her only job was to massage Clinton, and there was nothing inappropriate about it. However, when photos of the encounter surfaced, speculation began. Flight records show Clinton flew on the Lolita Express at least 26 times between 2001 and 2003. These details, however, remained hidden until Epstein's arrest. A shocking discovery at Epstein's home. While searching Epstein's home, authorities found a shocking portrait. Clinton was depicted in a blue dress with a feminine cut, striking a distinctive pose. At first, it seemed like a harmless joke, but upon further reflection, it raised a bigger question. Why was such a portrait in Epstein's home? What made the painting even more curious was that the dress resembled one Hillary Clinton had worn at a public event. Was it merely a coincidence, or was there something more behind it? Only those who understand its meaning may truly know the connection. In October 2019, the New York Times ran a detailed story on the relationship between Bill Gates, the Microsoft co-founder, and Jeffrey Epstein. The article pointed out that Gates had visited Epstein's lavish Manhattan townhouse 3 times, including one late-night visit. When asked about it, Gates denied being close to Epstein, insisting there were no business dealings between them. But if it was all just for social reasons, why would Gates make that late-night visit to Epstein's mansion? Virginia, another individual drawn into this complex web by Ghislaine, was working as a hotel waitress in Florida in 1999. Ghislaine noticed her striking appearance and convinced Virginia to become a private massage therapist, promising her a more relaxed and promising career opportunity. Over time, Virginia went from simple services to participating in social circles of high-profile individuals, even being taken to London to attend special social events. Eventually, some public figures publicly clarified the situation, stating that Virginia had no personal relationship with them.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
Epstein's crimes caught the attention of the Palm Beach police, especially after the case was handed over to federal authorities. But things stalled quickly. Even though Chief Michael Rederett and his team had collected testimony from over 40 witnesses and put together a solid indictment, Epstein still wasn't touched. What made Rederett furious was that, after all the work, the FBI pulled back and the case barely moved forward. Yet Epstein would boast that he was untouchable, saying he ran the whole police department and had control over top officials. For years, Epstein used his connections to control the media, intimidate police, and even hire a team of top-notch lawyers. His defense team included professors from some of the best law schools, making it even harder to get the case moving. Meanwhile, officers and victims trying to expose the truth were constantly watched and threatened, leaving them feeling vulnerable and powerless. By 2008, the case had finally started making waves. At this point, Epstein's lawyers advised him to just plead guilty to reduce his court risks. In the end, he only got 18 months for conspiracy, and even then, he was allowed to spend 16 hours a day outside of prison. The sentence was really just a formality, offering him hardly any real punishment. In 2019, the Epstein case made a huge comeback, and with it, a lot more public attention. As the hashtag #MeToo movement gained momentum, more women started coming forward with their stories, demanding that everyone speak out and take action. This movement didn't just shine a light on gender inequality and sexual violence, it also helped push the Epstein case back into the spotlight. When the investigation was reopened in 2019, authorities began digging into Epstein's properties and found a ton of alarming evidence. In July 2019, Epstein was arrested, which led to even more media coverage and public outcry. But what happened next left everyone even more stunned. While he was in custody, Epstein's health became a major topic of concern. On July 23, 2019, he was found unconscious in his cell and rushed to the hospital. After that, he was placed in solitary confinement, but just a few days later, his monitoring was lifted. On August 9th, Epstein was found dead, and officials ruled it a suicide. But that conclusion immediately raised a lot of eyebrows. Many people started questioning if there was more to the story. Even though the official cause of death was ruled as suicide, there were a lot of strange things that happened during the investigation that made people suspicious. For one, the footage of Epstein's first suicide attempt was mysteriously deleted, and then, when the second attempt happened, the cameras just happened to stop working. It all felt way too convenient and left people wondering if there were outside forces messing with the case. The case also saw other bizarre events unfold. In July 2020, Judge Esther Salas, who was overseeing the case, became the target of a violent attack at her home that left her son dead and her husband critically injured. The investigation revealed that the attacker had connections to the case, which only added to the mystery. So, what do you think is really going on with the Epstein case? Are all these strange events just coincidences? Or is there something bigger at play? Are we only seeing part of the story? Or is there a cover-up happening? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's dig deeper into this together. And if you want more updates on this case, make sure to like, share, and subscribe.